Hey all, this is Dr. Tonya Olson with Dr. Tonya-Footcare and Fixing Your Feet. In this video, I'm going to be covering the basic foot care supplies that I use and that I recommend the most. It's 2025, the year to thrive. So let's update our foot care products that we're using. So first of all, you need to clean the skin. I've ended up just keeping it simple. I use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer and a 4x4 gauze. Now use a hand sanitizer that's just the simple alcohol-based, no flavors or smells or moisturizers or any of that are needed, because those just end up coating the skin and can interfere with the adhesive of the tape. And then a 4x4 gauze is rough in texture, so you can really kind of get to doing some really good scrubbing if you need to. You can unfold it so that it has a larger surface area, kind of depending on what you need, and it's cheap. And these are both just cheap and available, and they're multifaceted, so you can use them for multiple uses. So I use the hand sanitizer and the gauze to be getting the liquid resin like off my hands or clean my own hands, that kind of thing. So keeping it simple. Hand sanitizer and 4x4 gauze. The next thing you need to do is to prep the skin and create a tacky layer upon which the tape is going to adhere best. Tincture of benzoin has been something that I've historically, like John Von Hoff and I have recommended for, for John for more than decades, for me for a decade. The last 5 years, though, I have been using other products, and I've found that they are more, they're far superior in a lot of different ways. Uh, the most basic replacement of tincture of benzoin I have found is skin tack. And so what's really nice about this, it has a good price point, but it also has, for the individual user, it has its own wand so that you can apply it more easily on your own. So you don't have to have like an applicator for it. So this is kind of the go-to is skin tack. These also comes in like skin tack wipes that you can tuck into your pack in case you have in a foot emergency along the trail. The only problem is that the tackiness sticks to your fingers, and so if you're at an aid station and you're trying to use the wipes and you're spending more time like taking everything, you stick to everything. So just be aware if you're using skin tack or your fingers are going to get sticky. So that's where your alcohol and your 4x4 come in handy to be able to clean off your fingers so that you can actually do the things that you're trying to do. Now, so I would, the next product that I'll use is called Mastisol. Now, this is used in the hospital settings to protect the skin and to create a tacky layer for things that where people need to have adhesive on the skin on a regular basis, such as ostomy bags, or anytime anyone has anything that's coming in or out their nose or their mouth, and you've got the skin needs to be protected and the adhesive needs to stay on. This is the product that's used. It's also used in wound care to keep the bandages adhering, etc. So it's a similar product to Skin Tack. It's a liquid resin product. Now with with the Mastisol, it comes in a spray bottle, but I find then it sprays out and you don't have kind of finite control of where it's going. So I just use this bottle that has like the little pour cap with it. You'll find that you have to be mindful of making sure that you keep this clean so that it'll stay open. Because I treat multiple runners, I usually just open the cap itself. And then for an applicator, because I worry about cross-contamination, I'll use an oral swab. This is something they use like in the medical world for like cleaning the teeth and the mouth for people who are in the hospital. So I'll just use an oral swab and then just pour the Mastisol onto it and then apply it to the skin surface that I'm trying to attend to. So in my opinion, professional opinion, Skin Tack is like a NASCAR level product, and Mastisol is a Formula One. So use your judgment on which one you want to use. If I really need the tape to stay on for a long time under extreme conditions, I always go with Mastisol as my first choice. For general events or moderate conditions, the skin tack is sufficient. All right, so we've prepped the skin, and now we'll talk about tape. So the go-to tape for the feet is kinesiology type tape. I use the TheraBand brand, and in all honesty, all these tapes by now are really similar. They'll say that they have different features, but like I really haven't had any of those features definitively proven to be significantly different from one tape to the other. This is just the basic kinesiology tape is a cotton-based woven tape. And so it's the characteristics that make kinesiology type tape ideal for foot care is that it stretches. It stretches lengthwise, but not widthwise. So it doesn't stretch wider, it stretches longer. It's very thin, has a very thin profile, has good adhesive to it, and the best part is that it's so flexible that you can flex around the toes, and that if you put it on body parts like the ball of the foot and the arch of the foot that flex and move as you're running, this tape will move with you. It will not tear the skin when you're placing it on the skin. It just moves and flexes with the skin, and then it's very forgiving. So if something happens and you create a wrinkle while you're putting the tape on, you don't have to panic. You just pinch the wrinkle together and then just trim it down, and it's kind of like the tape is kind of self-healing. So kinesiology tape is the go-to tape for foot care because of its flexibility, its breathability, and its forgiveness. Now, there's another tape that a lot of folks will use as their go-to tape, which is Leukotape. Now, Leukotape is the exact opposite of Kinesio tape. Leukotape is super stiff. It's strong. It has a zinc oxide based adhesive on the back. It's kind of akin to it's like the duct tape of the 21st century. Now this works because it's so strong and the adhesive is really strong. It works really well for bracing injuries on the trail. So this is really good to have with you just in case of an injury like a sprained ankle or some such. And if you need to brace something and create some stability, Leukotape is your go-to. You can use it on the foot. I would recommend only using it in the heel area where the skin doesn't have to flex and move, because this tape doesn't move, and if you apply it to skin that does move, because this adhesive is so strong, you can create skin tears. I've seen that happen on the ball of the foot. Another downside to Leukotape is that it doesn't breathe very well. If you look at the weaving, you cannot see through it, or you can very, very barely see through it. This doesn't breathe very well. The adhesive is very strong and kind of gummy. So if you're going to be in a humid environment where your feet are sweating quite a lot, this doesn't allow for really very much air flow at all or breathability. So it can exacerbate maceration. So just be mindful of the qualities of Leukotape when you're choosing to use it. Let's see. Speaking of maceration, here's my biggest find over the last couple of years is salty britches. For anti-maceration products, the two that I use the most and recommend the most are salty britches and squirrel's nut butter. I like the Happy Toes because it's specifically made for feet. It has peppermint oil in it. This is a coconut oil based product. It works really well for good general preventing of maceration by creating a hydrophobic layer on the skin and repelling moisture. The peppermint oil that is in the Happy Toes formulation is antimicrobial, has a little bit of an astringent properties, but this is just a really good go-to for Anti-maceration. You can also use this. This works really well if you're trying to prep and soften your feet, your calluses, or have really moisturized feet prior to an event that is going to be very, very dry. Because this is a little bit. This is a. It's thick. It's viscous. It's thick, but it's not very thick. It is absorbed by the skin a little bit, and just goes on really smooth. So this is a good, ooh, it smells good too. So Happy Toes by Squirrel's Nut Butter is a good general recommendation for most conditions. And then Salty Britches is probably the biggest find I've had over the last year that has changed my product recommendations. This product is burly. It is very substantial. It is a lanolin-based product. So if you have any allergies or ethical issues, just know that. Lanolin is the consistency of like butter in the fridge at room temperature. So it is cut with petrolatum. Petrolatum is not something I generally recommend for foot care products because it attracts dirt. It doesn't last long. But in the combination of the lanolin and the petrolatum in Salty Britches, that actually increases the melting temperature significantly. So it allows for this product to last for a very long time. 10 to 12 hours is kind of the baseline amount of time that you can plan on this being effective for preventing against maceration and being a hydrophobic layer. If you had a downside, is that this product is very thick. It's very thick and viscous, and so some people don't like how thick it is because it takes a little bit more work to kind of put on. You have to sort of rub it around the skin, but I would say that the extra effort you need to put forth to smooth it on is well worth it. But if you need to be in more extreme conditions, especially hot and humid conditions, this by far is my go-to product. So that would be Salty Britches and Squirrel's Nut Butter Happy Toes for anti-maceration products. Now we can also, some people prefer powder, and sometimes it's nice to be able to progress to powder because it's more efficient. You can have powder preloaded into your socks when you're running like an event where like the time is really important and you don't have time to stop and smear stuff on your feet. The only powder I recommend is Blister Shield. This is by Two Toms. This has microionized wax in it and PTFE. So microionized wax makes it waterproof and it has some pretty serious staying power. The PTFE is something that reduces the coefficient of friction significantly. So lower coefficient of friction means more slippery, less chance of risk for skin injury from friction or shear forces. And this is the only powder I recommend to place on your feet. Any of the talcum-based or cornstarch-based products are really just not even worth buying because cornstarch is water soluble, and the whole point to foot care is to protect your skin from water. So Blister Shield powder, really good in a pinch. This does not do well in humid conditions. So the high humidity in Florida, Blister Shield often clumps up and becomes ineffective over time. Let's see, what else do I have? Oh, I forgot about this tape. Cover Roll or Hypafix. This is another tape that I use and recommend on a regular basis. What's really great about this is actually used in the medical world, and it's used specifically to create a substrate on to which they stick bandages so that it protects the skin from the bandage adhesive. It has a tiny bit of stretch to it. Let me see here. It has a tiny bit of stretch to it widthwise, nothing so much, a little bit, well, not really so much lengthwise. There's a little bit of stretch to it, but the main thing is this tape is really skin friendly. And it's so the adhesive is skin friendly, doesn't typically cause any irritation. It has a very low profile, meaning it's very thin. The adhesive stays on. I find this works really well. For one, the main reason we use this is for the little figure eights that go between the toes and tack down any tape that's on the ball of the foot. That's the main reason we'll use this. But I find this can work really well for larger surface areas. So if you have an area like this, the pack straps that need to be protected from friction, or let's see, pack straps, what else? Pack bouncing around on the back of your skin. Oh, bra straps under the base of the bra especially. This works really well for prevention and treatment as well. You can put this on over skin that's been abraded. Because it's flexible and forgiving, it's not going to be causing you further irritation. But you know what I have been doing with this is, if you are in an event that is more extreme in conditions, and you have a blister that needs extra protection, I will use, this is the double whammy, I will use hydrogel patch. This is basically liquid water, or no, water in gel form. There's different brands that you can get. I like these little containers here of 50 because then they don't dry out and get old over time. So what these are is this, it's really just water in a gel form. And just be mindful, there is a backing. So you have to remove the backing when you place it on the skin. So you have to remove the backing. Let's see, here we are. Remove the backing. And then you have this amazing little gel patch that's just like little cushions of heaven. You will cut this to the size that you need, because you want to have it as the smallest size possible, or just exactly what you need so that it doesn't interfere with the tape adhesion. Place this on if you really have something that's problematic. You need to have it be protected. It's going to be quite a long time before you're going to be done with the event, or if it's going to be multiple days. You can put one of these on, a little patch of the cover roll, only as big as you need, and then some kinesiology tape on top of that. That would be a very extreme, reinforced, very multifaceted kitchen sink approach to protecting a blister. That's the max support, but you can use any combination thereof. So maximum would be hydrogel, a little bit of cover roll, and then KT tape, or the kinesiology tape, on top of it. More often than not, I'll just use the hydrogel and then some kinesiology tape on top of that. Now, I used to recommend Desitin or zinc oxide, a dab of that, to prevent the adhesive from adhering to the roof of the blister. I no longer recommend Desitin. You don't need it in your foot care kit. That's a whole entire another video. The hydrogel patches do the trick. They're cooling, they're effective, they're comfortable, and they just absolutely are fantastic for protecting a blister or injured skin from the adhesive on the tape and from the conditions that you're running or walking through. So this was my basic product video. Sorry it took a little bit longer than I thought it would, but hopefully it's some really good information for you. And this is Dr. Tonya with Dr. Tonya Foot Care and Fixing Your Feet, signing off.